having any part of business is obviously that you need to think what's your idea and your goal behind it. And the goal behind my brand, Ligaya Apparel, is that you have to embrace the community. You have to also combine the culture, because in life you cannot be successful just by having a business idea. You have to think about what do you want to do, what impact do you want to achieve with the people, and that goes also for marketing and other kinds of corporations, whether that's profit or non-profit.
Mhm. Okay, so do you have a website? Because I think a lot of us here have been looking for, if you Google online, there is nowhere that you can order online Filipiniana that is a little bit elevated. You'll have to rely on asking somebody from the Philippines or going to a designer in every country, a Filipino designer in every country. So this is a very good idea. Thank you very much, Krista. But before we go to the question and answer, I would like to call on ambassador, our beloved ambassador, to introduce a very special guest surprise. So please.
Thank you. Good afternoon once again. I asked Maricel if I could introduce our next speaker. So I don't know if you know of Dr. Jane Gerardo Abaya, but she just recently retired from the International Atomic Energy Agency. We in the Philippine Embassy in Austria are very proud of her. And actually, she is our nominee for the Presidential Awards for Filipino individuals and organizations overseas. Dr. Gerardo Abaya is a product of the University of the Philippines, and she has rendered 43 uninterrupted years of impactful professional work since 1981. The first 13 years of these, she served in the Philippines, working as a scientist in the public sector, engaging in projects related to the environment and energy. And the next 30 years of her career would take her all over the world in her capacity as an international civil servant with the IAEA. During her time at IAEA, Dr. Jane took on a leadership role in promoting technical cooperation projects on the peaceful uses of nuclear energy for various regions, paving the way for major breakthroughs and projects in Latin America, the Middle East, and the entire Asia Pacific region. These projects have resulted in scientific breakthroughs and solutions for both country and region wide development challenges, contributing immeasurably to human progress and sustainable development. In fact, she was in the team uh, of IAEA when they won the Nobel Prize. She, she also has received two awards, two commendations from the head of IAEA that is given, it's not given in every year, but it's given to exceptional civil servants within, international civil servants within the IAEA. And most recently, she received uh, recognition from the government of Vietnam. The time and dedication needed to fulfill her role did not in the IAEA did not limit her in serving her community. She also taught at the State University in Vienna in the science and technology field and has taken a leading role in various organizations. More recently, in the Philippine Austrian Cultural and Educational Society. This organization basis is very important. It's a 30-year-old organization, and Dr. Jane is one of the founders. But to me, what is most admirable about this organization is that they have sent they have sent at least 8 university students to finish their university degrees in the STEM fields. So to me, that is such an admirable endeavor. This year or last year was her. She ended the year. She ended the year by retiring from IAEA. But for us, we hope to see more of her because that means she has more time than to do community work. I asked to introduce her to you today because this is my way of giving thanks to Dr. Jane for her entire career of service, not only to the Philippines but to our region in the Asia Pacific. As Director in Technical Cooperation in IAEA, she really has assisted in making sure we have tangible projects on the ground, whether it's in agriculture, in health, in the different sciences, to make sure that there is real community and country development happening. So this is not just words written on a page, but it is actual projects that help our citizens in the region. So without further ado, I introduce Dr. Jane Gerardo Abaya.
Good afternoon. I am really dumbfounded by the introduction of Ambassador Her Excellency Evangelina Lourdes Barnas. I'm very, very humbled by all those words, and it was a total surprise for me. In fact, I was just sitting at the back of the room trying to absorb the spirit of the discussions, and I saw that Maricel has written in the program. When she invited me, she asked me for a few words, and I said it's all right. It's a big pleasure to be talking to fellow Filipinos. And when I saw the program, it says inspirational message, and I thought, oh, after the ambassador, what more can I say? Because I'm sure I have heard Ambassador several times really giving us messages, and I'm always inspired by her messages. But in addition, I was listening to just the panel discussions, panel presentations. I missed this morning's session because of PACES. I was already inspired, and I thought, what more can I say to inspire this very important network in Europe? I see the message, the motto of this General Assembly: action, resilience, empowerment. And I think these are very, very important words of the current times. We need action. We have to be resilient in all these challenges in this world right now, let alone the very many challenges that our country is facing, Philippines, our beloved country. Even if many are already with the different nationalities, and thanks really to our host countries, I'm very Filipino, and I remain very Filipino in Austria, and I'm very, very grateful to Austria for having me here, and my husband, because we really benefit so much from the goodness of the country. At the same time, I see that we Filipinos are also contributing so much in any country where we live in. And just listening to what has been shared, especially from the different countries, I thought, yes, this is really a reaffirmation that we Filipinos are making important impacts wherever we are. So just, thank you. So just listening to the ambassador's message earlier, her inspirational message, really, we have so much role to play in order to lift our profiles. PACES has been established in 2016, so we celebrated our 8th year anniversary just this month, May 15. But I'm very happy to say that we have indeed generated an important impact to our beneficiaries in the Philippines, the young Filipinos. PACES, Philippine Austrian Cultural Educational Society, is really an organization of like-minded Filipinos. We were so inspired to do something for our young Filipinos, particularly in the field of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And why is that? Because science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, is very much needed for any development of any country. If we look at statistics, Iceland, I think, and some other countries in Europe are one of those with high numbers of STEM graduates. In Asia and the Pacific, we used to have many. In the Philippines, regrettably, we have slowed down, but we can always catch up. We see the resilience of Filipinos. If we empower each one, we can really catch up. Because in statistics, in numbers, we're very much behind in STEM graduates. And STEM, according to the report just a few months ago, the Philippines need 1 million engineers and architects and science graduates and technologists in order to really address the ambitious development plan of our country. Now, if we look at the Philippines, roughly about 40% of our population is in the young generation. And when we started the scholarship program of PACES some years ago, the stories that we received from the young applicants that we have had, stories like, "I'm sorry, sir," because we had interviews. We conducted interviews from Vienna online. One of the stories would be, "I'm sorry, sir, I'm late for the interview. I had to go to the cafe shop in order to link online." The other story is, "Sir, we'd like to have this interview, this scholarship, because we would like our family to be together. My father, according to the story, is in the Middle East doing some work." Another story is, "Sir," I say sir because the chair of the interview is my husband, and he's the chair of scholarship committee. "Sir," said one of the applicants would say, "Our house was blown out during the typhoon, and I'd like to be an engineer so that I can build good houses." Then you can gather how ambitious our young people are. But they cannot go to university because the family is big. The annual income ranges from 50 euro a month to 200 euro a month. And so, if we have great minds like this, and we know Filipinos have really great minds wherever they are, they don't need to be in the city center, especially in rural areas. We can really have a diamond there that needs to be polished. But what do? We have many, many efforts here and there. How can we reach 1 million within a short time? We can do that if we work together. If we work together, if we collaborate, if we converge all our ideas. Because as one of the panelists has said, if it's only one who does it, one advocacy here and there, all we can have is being convinced about what needs to be done. But we are already all converted. If I see a network like this, I see that, yes, there is passion to do something for our country. So PACES has, yes, we have completed 100% of our target in 8 years. And now we aim for more. We aim for 10 scholars in the next 2 years, but we have also expanded beyond the university. We have expanded to vocational schools, vocational training, because in the Philippines, what is also important is upskilling, which means some of our young, 40% of our population, might be interested in science, technology, engineering, and math, but not everyone has that aptitude for it. So some others would like to go in arts and humanities and or vocational work. And that will be very, very helpful for improving the lives of our people. So what can we do? We're only doing 10. That's our target because we need to raise funds and we don't have funds. But it does not stop us from doing that. And that's why I also like to talk to you about this, to thank Maricel for this opportunity to be able to speak at length now, beyond 5 minutes, about this. Because if we can all work together to support the scholarship program of our young generation in the Philippines, imagine a person supported graduates can impact a family of 5 minimum. Multiply that, and then it has a ripple effect. And this is what our esteemed delegate from Cyprus was saying. We need to roll it out. And I know it can succeed because when I was still working, when we started the introduction of nuclear science and technology to secondary schools, we started that in my division. There was a very poor understanding of nuclear science and technology. There's always fear. But we said education is the way to change the mind, the mindset, to help understand the topic. And we started with only 3 or 4 countries. The Philippines was one of the pilot countries. We saw the success. We went to the education sector. It was almost impossible. Within 4 years, we reached 1 million students in several countries. And the Philippines was one of them. So that to me, dear educator from Cyprus, is a very classic, clear example that things can be done if we just work together, if we have a good strategy to ripple out the actions. And I think I can go on talking on and on about this, but I know that we have a party in the evening. I will also be there, looking forward to join. Yes, so I'd like to stop here and really encourage you. Support a scholar. Improve lives in our country. Thank you very much.